Chapter 32. When I return from the bathroom, Chris and Owen are in the corner by the computers talking. I have no clue what they are even discussing. However, they are not alone. I spot someone else with them. Oh, fucking hell. I spot dirty blonde hair and instantly I know who it is after seeing her hair. What the heck is she doing here? Owen spots me as I stand beside the entrance to the door. He moves away from the computers and walks over toward me. When he's beside me, he says, "Sushiana, do you know that chick? She's been having her claws all over Chris. I just want to let you know, since you guys seem more than friends. But like you care because you are only friends, right?" I don't look at Owen and focus on Chris and Meg's conversation. Damn, I wish I could read lips. The fury I have for Chris right now must be clear on my burning face. Right, Sushiana? Owen pesters. Yeah, we're friends, I lie, but the truth is, I have no clue what we are. Chris's eyes shift to me then to Meg and he whispers something into her ear. At that moment he moves her to the side to get to me. Jealousy takes over me and I feel my cheeks flaring to a deep shade of red. In spite of that, why am I jealous? I shouldn't be jealous because Chris is not mine. I was right, I should not have left them alone. Who knows what they were talking about, especially with Meg. And more importantly, what did he just whisper to her? Owen, it was great getting to know you, Chris says to Owen politely, then turns to look at me. Sushiana, let's leave now. His voice is cold and laced with fear. What the hell is going on? Why does he always act this way when he's with his friends? Is he embarrassed by me? I hope Meg is not his friend, well more than his friend. Like you and Chris are. My subconscious taunts me. Chris, I can't leave now. I have to finish my assignment. Owen told me he'll finish the assignment for both of you. I turn to Owen and narrow my eyes. I know I am drilling holes into him, but he knows when I stare him down that I am being serious. Owen, is that true? I ask. Owen laughs. Yes, Sushiana. Don't look at me like that. Chris had asked me to finish up for you because he said you guys had to do something. If I'm being honest, he had offered me money but I said that was not necessary. I have no problem finishing up the experiment by myself. Owen, I don't want you to do the work alone, I utter to Owen. At that time I spin around to look at Chris and say, Chris, I am staying. Sushiana, Owen agreed. Now come on, and let's go, he orders. I hate that he bosses me around like some child. Owen can't do the work all by himself. It's not fair, I state as I cross my arms and stand my ground. Noticing the look I am giving him, Chris signs and shakes his head. He grabs hold of my arm gently to pull me close to him and whispers, so I can only hear him. I have something to show you. I can't wait longer to tell you about the plans I have for us. His words are undoing and I give in. Perhaps, it's because I am anxious to know what plans he's talking about. I roll my eyes and nod yes. He smiles and grabs my hand. Thanks for doing the work for me, Owen. I owe you one. I call out to him as Chris leads me out of the laboratory. Give me your coat and goggles so I can put them away in the room. I take off my lab coat and pull the goggles over my head and hand them to him. Wait here, he mutters when he vanishes into the other room. I wander over to the benches by the huge bay windows. I sit and take in my surroundings. I look out to the campus grounds. The campus stands are vast, the view's tremendous, and the lush greenness of the landscaping rolls for miles and miles beyond. I notice students rushing to class, mostly looking like freshmen running to their classes. Hello, Susan. I spin my head around. Coming face to face with a dirty blonde-haired girl, who I dislike. Hi, Megan, I say harshly. I know her name is Meg but since she doesn't say my name accurately, I'll do the same. She smiles at me, but it's a faint smile I have never had the pleasure of receiving. I know something you don't, Sushiana, she tells me slowly. Okay, she said my full name. Something is up, she never pronounces my full name. And what's that, Meg? I ask, plastering on a false smile. Chris is not what you think. A good girl like you won't understand Chris's world. I cut her off fast and yell with anger, you don't know shit about me, and what goes on between Chris and me is no one's business. She smirks. You'll be surprised how much I know about you. What the hell is she talking about? Trust me when I tell you this, Chris is not someone you want to get involved with. He doesn't do romance. His tastes are different from yours. Meg's cold voice stabs into my heart. Is this a forewarning to stay away from Chris? Or does she want me to stay away from him because she's jealous? You don't know my tastes. What tastes are you even talking about? I shout. I'm sure you will find out soon enough, she smirks as she turns away. Reality comes crashing down around me and I blink a couple of times to try to figure out what she means. Wait, Meg, I yell when she's leaving me to think in my own thoughts. I see Chris breezing out of the room. As Meg and Chris cross paths, he stops Meg by wrapping his hand around her arm and mumbles something to her. He looks fuming with rage and points his long finger at me. Meg shrugs her shoulders. I barely hear her say to Chris, ask her yourself. She glances towards me with her cold smirk and then exits out of the double doors. Chris comes up to me and asks, what did Meg say to you? Didn't she tell you when you were talking to her just now? It doesn't matter. But my subconscious is screaming at me and saying, of course, it does matter, you idiot. He sighs and his frown then becomes a scowl. I can literally see the wheel of his mind swirling around as he looks at me, chewing his bottom lip. Gosh. Don't bite your lip, before I kiss you. Whatever Meg was telling you, don't believe her. She talks nonsense. I'm sure she was not talking nonsense. Shit. What have I gotten myself into? Come, I want to show you something, he mutters as he grabs my hand and guides me out to the double doors. My subconscious keeps telling me to proceed with extreme caution because he's a player and Meg was basically warning you, oppressively, yet it was still a warning.